met with Captain Farrell and his money he was counting. I first produced me pistol and I then produced me rapier, saying stand and deliver, for ye are a bold deceiver. Mushering do-ma-do-do-ma-da. Whack fall the daddy-o, whack fall the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. I counted out his money and it made a pretty penny. I put it in me pocket and I took it home to Ginny. She sighed and she swore that she never would deceive me. The devil take the women, for they never can be easy. Mushering do-ma-do-do-ma-da. Whack fall the daddy-o, whack fall the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. I went into me chamber all afore to take a slumber. I dreamt of gold and jewels, and for sure it was no wonder. Ginny took me charges and she filled them up with water, then sent for Captain Farrell to be ready for the slaughter. Mushering to my dog. Whack fall the daddy-o, whack fall the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. 'Twas early in the morning, just before I rose to travel. Up comes a band of footmen and likewise Captain Farrell. I first produced me pistol, for she'd stolen away me rapier, but I couldn't shoot the water, so a prisoner I was taking. Mushering do-ma-do-do-ma-da. Whack fall the daddy-o, whack fall the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Well, there's some take delight in the carriages a-rolling, others take delight in the hurling and the bowling, but I take delight in the juice of the barley, and courting pretty fair maids in the morning, bright and early. Mushering do-ma-do-do-ma-da. Whack fall the daddy-o, whack fall the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Well, if anyone can aid me, 'tis me brother in the army. If I can find a station in Cork or in Killarney, and if he will go with me, we'll go roving in Kilkenny. I'm sure he'll treat me better than me own me sporting Jenny. Mushering do-ma-do-do-ma-da. Whack fall the daddy-o, whack fall the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Mushering do-ma-do-do-ma-da. Whack fall the daddy-o, whack fall the daddy-o, there's whiskey in the jar. Hello, my friends. Happy early St. Patrick's Day. Thank you guys for tuning in with me so I could play a few of my favorite Irish songs with you. It was Whiskey in the Jar. My version's heavily inspired by the Dubliners, which is my favorite version. Hi, Byron and Andy. Hello, TV Bob. TVR Bob, how are you? I saw Linda's on here. Hello. And Jacob. Hi, how are you? Hi, Thomas and Stephen. Finally caught one. Cheers from North Carolina. Yay, so glad to have you with us. Well, a little whiskey in the jar, and I think while we have this guy on in Capo 2, we'll do a little Blacksmith. Stall's working and wants me to send her love. Oh, miss you, Stall. Oh, thank you, Andrew. And the Boyds are here. Hello, Boyds. Oh, I love you guys. All right, this is the Blacksmith. A blacksmith courted me 9 months and better. He fairly won my heart, wrote me a letter. With his hammer in his hand, he looked quite clever. And if I was with my love, I would live forever. But where is my love gone, with his cheeks like roses, and his good black billycock on, trim with primroses? I fear the shining sun may burn and scorch his beauty, and if I was with my love, I would do my duty. Strange news is come to town, strange news is scary, strange news flies up and down, that my love is merry. I wish them both much joy, though I know that they won't hear me, and may God reward him well for the slighting of me. Don't you remember when you lay beside me, and you said you'd marry me and not deny me? If I said I'd marry you, it was only for to try you. So bring your witness, love, and I'll not deny you. Oh, witness have I none, save God Almighty, and may He reward you well for the slighting of me. Her lips grew pale and wan, it made her poor heart tremble, for to think she loved a one, and it proved deceitful. A blacksmith courted me 9 months and better. He fairly won my heart, wrote me a letter. There you have it. There's the Blacksmith. Oh, thank you, Rebecca. It's so good to have you here. Hey, Vingazi. Thank you for tuning in. And Christopher, hi from Las Vegas. Howdy from Boston. Another two from Boston. That's great. Andy, I'm so glad you're here. And Jeffrey. Hi, Riley. Thank you. Just catching up on y'all. Hi from Alberta. Hello. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Let's see here. I thought I would do Arthur McBride because any excuse to play that song, but especially on St. Patrick's Day. Well, in celebration of St. Patrick's Day. This is a very wonderful anti-recruiting song. And this particular arrangement is by Paul Brady. Says he might find fellows if he will enlist. But 10 guineas in gold I will slip in your fist, and a crown in the bargain for to kick up the dust and drink the king's health in the morning. For a soldier he leads a very fine life, and he always is blessed with a charming young wife. He pays all his debts without sorrow or strife, and always lives pleasant and charming. And a soldier he always is decent and clean, in the finest of clothing he's constantly seen, while other poor fellows go dirty and mean and sup on thin gruel in the morning. Says Arthur, I wouldn't be proud of your clothes, for you've only the lend of them, as I suppose, and you dare not to change them one night, for you know if you do, you'll be flogged in the morning. And although that we are single and free, we take great delight in our own company. We have no desire strange faces to see, although that your offers are charming. And we have no desire to take your advance, all hazards and dangers we barter on chance, for you would have no scruples but to send us to France, where we would get shot without warning. Oh, now says the sergeant, I'll have no such chat, and I neither will take it from Spalpeen or Brat, for if you insult me with one other word, I'll cut off your head in the little lads who would give them hard clouds and make them look sharp in the morning. Oh, me and me cousin one Arthur McBride, as we went a walking down by the seaside. Now mark what did follow, mark what did follow, and what did betide, for it being on Christmas morning. There you have it, Arthur McBride, according to the wonderful Paul Brady. It's Irish folk. Hello, Michael. Sorry, I'm just catching up on y'all's comments. Hi, Michael. Yeah. What genre of music is this? I'd say this is Irish, but it's a sort of a renaissance that happened in the 60s and 70s in Ireland and England. A lot of people like Planxty and Pentangle, and a lot of others, the Dubliners, etc., all started reviving traditional Irish folk music, and it really has a new flair because of that time. So there's a lot of great music from that era, a lot of great recordings. Who else am I missing, guys? I just made you all a St. Patrick's Day playlist. This is very pathetic. The Corries, they're Scottish. The Wolf Tones. There were a bunch of other great ones, but anyways, I'm going to post a St. Patrick's Day playlist for you, Riley, and then you'll get it, a lot of it. You'll get a whole bunch from that renaissance that happened. Wild Geese? Oh, Steven. I'll do that on the Patreon show next time, or maybe I'll do it on the Patreon show tonight if you tune in. I'll do it on there. Just send me a comment on the Patreon show to remind me, and I'll do it for you. Watching since Al's number 7. Oh, Christopher, I'm so glad to have you here. Wolf Tones, yes, such a good band. Flogging Molly. Flogging Molly was a little later, weren't they? I shouldn't say that. I'm not actually very familiar with Flogging Molly. I need to go check them out. But Planxty's like my favorite. I love those guys. They're probably my all-time favorite band. They are my all-time favorite band. I'll just say it. I commit. Okay, guys, I have a treat for you, but I have to change the tuning on my octave mandolin. So there's a wonderful book that I read recently called How the Irish Saved Civilization, and I highly recommend it. It's there's a great chunk in there about St. Patrick and his story, which I had absolutely no idea about. His story is incredible. He was a Briton and a Roman citizen originally, and he was kidnapped by the Celts and sold into slavery. And he ended up, it was brutal. He was just treated very brutally. And that's how he became a holy man, actually, just through the terrible trials he endured. And he ended up escaping back to Britain, and he started having dreams about the Celts, and basically dreamed that they needed him, and that they were asking for him to come back to them. And at that time, the Celts were kind of considered subhuman by the Britons, and so it wasn't, they didn't believe in sending missionaries out there, they didn't believe in doing anything, but St. Patrick loved the people, and he wanted to go and help them, and so he did. And lot of incredible things came from that compassionate act. It's one of the best stories of how loving your enemy can actually change the world. But in his lifetime, he ended the slave trade there, and he also ended human sacrifice, which was a big thing in the pagan Celtic faith at that time. And in addition to that, he brought literacy, which ended up saving civilization. As I won't give the whole story away, you'll have to read it, but it's pretty incredible. So there's a prayer that's attributed to him called St. Patrick's Breastplate, and it's a very long, beautiful prayer, but the end of it has been turned into a hymn called The Cry of the Deer, or The Deer's Cry. And while I was listening to Liam Neeson tell this whole story on Audible, which is probably the best way to ingest that book because Liam Neeson has a wonderful voice, he recites St. Patrick's Breastplate. It's so beautiful. I had to go and look it up. Oh, there's your trouble. And I discovered that Arvo Pärt composed a sacred motet with the last piece of this prayer that begins with Christ with me. And so I thought it would be really beautiful to do it in Irish and to compose an accompaniment for it. So this is my little melodic interpretation of The Cry of the Deer.
Christe Maria, Christe Stehanam, Christ Fun, Christos Machion, Christ Ermalov Yesh, Christ Ermalov. Christi krigachtina atai quivnuaram. Christi melgachtina laurien lam. Christi nachsu eihonaram. Christi nachlus eistin. Christ
So that's the deer's cry. Oh, thank you, Nathan. Yeah, I got to debut that on Patreon last month. It was really fun. Speaking of which, I have to thank my patrons for making today possible. Thank you guys for making it so I can share music. It's a joy to be here with you all. I'm going to hop over to Instagram at 7 o'clock my time, so just in a little bit here, and do the same show over there. If you'd like to join me, come join me. And otherwise, I'm also going to hop onto Patreon at 8 o'clock if you'd like to become a patron. I'll be doing a whole nother set of music over there, including Wild Mountain Time and some Irish instrumentals and a brand new song that I wrote. So if you want to join us on Patreon, you can do that. It's patreon.com/ladymoon. And we do all kinds of fun stuff on there, but the big thing is there's an extra show every Tuesday night. So come join us and we'll have a little chat. Friends, I love you. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next month, probably near the end of April. Some Tuesday next month. I'll figure that out and I'll put it on here and send it out so you guys know when. But in the meantime, happy St. Patrick's Day.